in a Townsfolk Tussle. Probably not keeping that in, but if I do, welcome back to Game Brigade. My name is Bryan, and today we're going to be diving into Townsfolk Tussle, the Foul Neighbors, and Odd Jobs. Basically, it's the reprint for Townsfolk Tussle coming to Kickstarter. If this is the game you missed the first time, don't worry. I'm going to be going over the entire campaign, talking about the reasons why you should or shouldn't back this campaign. Stay tuned for that. You like that? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so here we are at Townsfolk Tussle. This is the expansion for Foul Neighbors and Odd Jobs. It also includes a reprint of the base game. We're going to be diving into this campaign and talking about it, but right now it is day 21 left to go. $570,000, 4,331 backers. They are absolutely killing it, and this is brought to us by Panic Roll. Now, Panic Roll has only created one other game, and that is, in fact, the original Townsfolk Tussle, in which I also covered in the Should You Back series. So if that's something you're interested in, if you like these kind of series, if learning about campaigns and the conversations of the campaign and whether you should back it, please consider subscribing because I think it might be a value for you. So yeah, we talked about this one. Panic Roll successfully delivered the last campaign without much of an issue. And Townsfolk Tussle came very well acclaimed to the masses, to the point that it was very hard to find this game. And in fact, the secondary market was very inflated for a long time. So this is a game that is very much needed a reprint to kind of ease those tensions on the secondary market. So what is Townsfolk Tussle? Well, effectively, the mayor of Eureka Springs here, not the mayor, the sheriff, has died. And he is still dead to this day, turns out. And because of that, there's no law in the land. So the ruffians are going around and they're busting up all the different townsfolk of Eureka Springs. And now the neighboring towns have heard that the sheriff is dead. And so now they're coming on over to check out what they can spoil in the town of Eureka. So that's effectively the theme of this game. And in fact, I actually think they do a very good job blending the theme into the game. They use this Cuphead 1920, 30 style art to really enrich the experience, and you pop it off with an incredible game of a boss battler mechanic system. It's really, really impressive. So what does that mean? What are you doing in this game? What are we playing? Well, effectively, you are going to be taking on the role of a townsfolk, and you are going to be going around fighting these different ruffians. Now, there will be 4 ruffians you have to fight to win a scenario. And that can be a long time, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But effectively, it's a boss battler. So all these ruffians will have different types of mechanics and things and AI systems that they do. And as a player, you are going to have to figure that out and the best way to defeat it using your skills and abilities and the equipment you have gathered through the game. What is the new expansion offering? Well, there's 2 new expansions that they're going to be bringing in. First one is Foul Neighbors. This is the one I was talking about where the people on the outskirts of Eureka Springs have heard that the sheriff is dead, and they're going to be coming in and bringing more ruffians. And that's in fact basically what this does. In fact, they break it down pretty clearly here. In other words, the Foul Neighbors expansion brings more ruffians, more townsfolk, more terrain, more complexity to the Townsfolk Tussle you know and love. That's a great way to put it. Effectively, they're going to be bringing just more of everything that was in the base game and just doubling it effectively. Not really doubling it in terms of getting double the amount, but adding a lot more content of everything that has worked to this point. So that's a good value jump in terms of creating a lot of different ways that you can experience this system. But they're also going to be including another expansion. Let's scroll on down to that, and we'll go through kind of this stuff in a bit. And that is the Odd Jobs expansion. The Odd Jobs is going to be changing pretty much how the purchasing system works, and you're getting gear, and they're going to add a little bit more ways that you can get some of these items. So the Odd Job expansion, in other words, the Odd Jobs expansion focuses on gear synergies and strategies, unlocking a plethora of gear across several sessions and complete gear sets to gain powerful abilities. So I love that they're going to be offering now more options in the gear to allow us to have more combinations, more strategies, seeing if you can figure out different synergies with your character ability, with the gears you've looted, and even unlocking gear based on some of the stuff you have. They showed this bobby pin unlocking the jam locket, which uncovers a couples locket, which does something different. Of course, I can't freeze that GIF. So overall, we're going to be getting a good amount of stuff in these 2 expansions. So let's kind of go through what we're getting inside each of those boxes. So if we come right up here, we'll talk about what's inside the box. So this is the Foul Neighbors expansion. You'll be getting 8 double-sided Ruffian masks. Now these are double-sided. They can flip both sides. We'll have content on either side. I've also, for fact, I haven't played Townsfolk Tussle. I've wanted to. I didn't back the original campaign, even though I really wish I did. And as soon as the secondary market showed up, I just couldn't afford the cost. It was just too much for me. But here we have the 8 new Ruffians that will be joining the original Ruffians. So you have Ernie Offal, Red Atrocious, the Door Knockers. I love this one. Miss Falls and Co. Barry Bluff, Tilde the Fields. I like that. Tilde the Fields. And Tartar Fish Boy, that makes sense. And Patches. Patches is actually a stretch goal. We'll go through the stretch goals here shortly. And then you have the dual layer Patches custom mat, which is pretty cool because this is kind of unique to Patches. And then you have the dual layer player folk, Townsfolk. So these are the 2 currently. Now there could be more in stretch goals to come, but these are the 2 Townsfolk that are coming in this new expansion. And here you can see those minis. And then you get a whole slew of cards. We're not going to go through the cards. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the odd jobs and see what's inside the odd jobs. Pretty much you're going to be getting a lot of gear. 30 bottom barrel peddler gear. That's going to be stuff for you to customize and play with. And then 120 unlockable peddler gear. So I'm assuming things that you are going to use to get better stuff. And then we have these tarot size roll cards. So this is totally new. I think it's kind of cool. You have roles that you can take on as your character, maybe giving you some more additional customization options and replayability. So that's awesome. And then the Spectacular Edition, this is all taken, so we'll get to that later. And so what's inside the Townsfolk Tussle boxes, it's going to come up when we talk about the value. Overall, we're going to begin the rule book, the 7 dual layer Townsfolk player mats. Remember, we're going to add 2 more if you decide to get the first expansion we talked about. The double-sided sideboard. This is double-sided because you'll have the shopping side on one side and then flips over to where the Ruffian side will be. They have a brand new redesigned insert in this game to also increase the setup time as well as better fit the game. So I think this is really cool. A bunch of different things here, and you can see that insert inlay here with all the different cards. So really cool that they're redesigning this insert. Unfortunately for our first edition backers, I'm not sure if there's going to be a solution for them to be able to fix this, because that'd be cool to be able to, if you have first edition, to get some of this new insert stuff. And here you can see some of those minis that are part of this pledge. So let's talk about the pledge levels. Let's break down these pledge levels because that's really what we're here for. The Townsfolk Tussle Spectacular Second Edition. If this is your first time backing this game, $105. The original campaign was $85. Now, there's benefits when you jump in on a campaign that's new. We talked about this in our last Should You Back series with an Age Contrived, where the values can be very, very good for some of these first-time creators. And I thought Townsfolk Tussle was actually providing a premium level product at a very good price at $85, and it did very well in the Kickstarter campaign. And the secondary market showed that with such high demand. So here we are coming back with $105. So that's going to be a little premium on top of the game. They've shown that this game is a well-deserved and wanted title. Plus, there's a little bit of inflation in that because of the state of the world and how inflation has raised the prices of everything. So $105 seems like a good value price for this game in today's market. You're going to be seeing, though, that's interesting that the returning townsfolk and whatnot, all the new stuff coming in at $115. It's very interesting here that the expansions are going to be costing more than the base game. So take note of that. You could, if you wanted to be a value calculator, like I know some of my viewers are, you could literally probably go through and calculate the minis to the amount of cards you're getting and see what value is truly there. But that's not me. I don't do that kind of stuff. And you could back this entire thing, get everything at $210, effectively making each one $105. So you can kind of see the price there. It's not $105, but it becomes $105 if you decide to do the all-in. Not a total discount here. You're saving $5. overall in terms of backing it a la carte like, but you are getting all the new stuff. Now, the only thing that really bothers me, and this is just personal, I wish there was a way to have the Townsfolk Tussle box be all inclusive of all the content. That way I only need one box. That would be really, really cool. But I hear they are making a way to make these very accessible and whatnot. But it'd be so much better if we could just have everything fit in a single box. Now, they have the dearly delighted departed graveyard bundle. Effectively, they will put a gravestone on the box with your name on it. They cap these at 100, and I'm pretty sure it's all sold out. Yeah, all gone. They're all gone right now. So you could back that. If maybe someone decides to cancel their pledge, decide it's not for them, and if it's available, you could do that. And if you do, you can put your name somewhere on the box while they'll put your name for you in a gravestone. I think it's cool. It immortalizes you into the game, and it's pretty cool. And I think it's interesting, kind of funny and interesting. Quackalope, this guy here is right here in the center. How lucky is he? So, as I said, you can get these add-ons if you wanted to just do them. Obviously, the Townsfolk Tussle Odd Jobs is going to be much cheaper because it's just a cards expansion, while the Townsfolk Neighbors expansion has those minis. So that's why you're going to see a cost difference there. And then if you are a first edition backer, they are offering a upgrade pack to get some of those materials. I've seen a lot of people complaining that they wish this was free. But things are upgraded, and they are offering a free PDF if you want to download that. But if you're wanting the same print quality as the game, which is what I'd want if I was doing that, you can purchase it for $10. I think it's fair. But that's me. I also didn't back it the first time, so who am I to say? You can purchase these $27 Kickstarter exclusive metal coins. Now, these metal coins are interesting because I think you can actually use these metal coins for a whole different types of games that are not branded to Townsfolk Tussle as far as I'm aware. So if you wanted to buy these coins and just have coins available for other games, this would be a good option because they're pretty, the denominations are great, plus their coloring. Just take that as you want. But $27 is expensive for coins. So what can I say? You are getting an assortment of 60 though, so there's a good amount of coins in there. And then you've got the pin set, $25. That's actually not too bad in terms of enamel pins. Depends on the size, but I don't think 25 for 6 is actually that bad of a price. If you're a pin collector, I'm not, but I do buy pins for my daughter so she can put them on her backpack. And this might be something I could check out for that because I think it's kind of cool. Stretch goals. This is where we're getting our added value. I will say, based on what I've seen so far, there's not a ton of added value here. A lot of this stuff is kind of stuff I would assume they would do anyways. So we're not getting a lot of extra minis and extra ruffians, but we'll go through what's been unlocked right now and what we can maybe hopefully expect in the future. So right now we've added 3 additional Townsfolk event cards. These are cool. They add some variety to the gameplay. We're going to get some more peddler access. This will be for the Odd Jobs expansion where you can unlock things and get stuff better. Here's the stuff I was talking about, which I assume this would be done already, but the base game will have a spot UV printing, just making it a little shinier. I kind of expect that to be there, to be honest, especially at $105. I expect this deluxeification. So, what can I say? You put it as a stretch goal. It's at a stretch goal level that's most likely always going to be unlocked, especially with this title. But to me, that's kind of a fake stretch goal. I think it should have been done already. The Phantom Finder deployable. That's the other thing we didn't talk about with the Odd Job. Some of the items are going to be deployable items that you can actually put onto the field. And that way you can use it against the ruffian you're fighting. But of course you have to put it in the right spot because that's part of the strategy. So we're going to add the Phantom Finder. That's kind of cool. The Spot UV on the expansion box. I don't even want the box, to be honest with you, because I want it all in the core box, but most likely I'm going to have to figure out a whole calyx shell for this stuff. And that's just more spot UV filtering. You got the Yuck, it's Cockroach. I actually think this is a great card because this is a card that's usually very much needed for a lot of stuff. It says discard this while shopping, reset the peddler's card. Basically, get rid of all that stuff and let's put some stuff in here. I think that's great, part of the Odd Jobs. And the Foul Neighbors is getting its UV sprint. UV printing. I've already talked about that. I don't want the box. Plus, I think this should have already been done. And then they're going to be doing art around the box. Yeah, good. I mean, it should have been done. I feel like the box should be arted. And then the Sheriff Pinata, another card, adding value. So those are the things I wish, God, I mean, I get it. You know, we're like, hey, we're deluxifying the game. We're showing you stuff. But these stretch goals are very unexciting for me. They're not showing me anything that's like driving me to come and look at this campaign daily, because it's like stuff that should, in my opinion, already be featured as quality product for this game. The spot UV, matte linen finish, like this stuff should be already part of the deluxification of this game. And then the stretch goals, in my opinion, should be just adding more content for the game that we can, you know, make the game better. You know, add more townsfolk, add more cards for the odd jobs, stuff like that. But that's me. I'm not the developer of this game. I just was going through these stretch goals and I thought they were very, very weak. But what you can say. Now, they do have daily reveals, and I do like this. When they do daily reveals and monetary stretch goals, I really, really appreciate that, because they can sometimes usually lock their really cool stuff behind the daily reveals. And I'm not sure how many they're going to have. Right now, they have 2 that they're showing that are locked. The first one was Patches the Stray. You have to click Update 2 to get a full breakdown of what Patches is. But he's a new Ruffian, and what I thought was pretty cool is he's Patches. It's a cat who sits in the alley. But is he a cat? I don't know. But you can take off his stuff here. I think this is a cool little video. You could take off his costume. Maybe they're going to show you what's below Patches. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'll tell you right now, they don't really show much in that video, but they show that the fact that this stuff comes out, which is kind of cool. So the fact that they're doing the daily reveals, most likely they're going to hide anything really cool behind that stuff. And the monetary stuff is just stuff that is probably going to be unlocked regardless. But we'll see. And the reviews and previews and first impressions, there's a whole slew of them. I highly recommend you go through them. I said this last time. I'm going to say it again. I'm incredibly jealous that these guys have these incredible art designed for them. I would love to have one, but unfortunately I was not selected for a preview and didn't get one. But I think these are so cool, like Gnarly Carly. Like, look at that. I love it. I would love to have in Board Game Co. You've got right here Room and Board. I think that's so cool to have these. So that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and cut back to my main camera as we discuss the value in my final opinion regarding Townsfolk Tussle. First off, before we get to that, I want to say that I am currently trying to get King of Average to play this game with me. If you want me to play a game with King of Average on camera, do a playthrough of like a single fight, I want you guys to comment on this video, do a little @King of Average. I'm not sure if that'll work, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. In fact, I kind of want to check this while I'm doing this, because we're just going to see if it works. But I want you to comment if, I'm just going to see, King of Average. Let's see if he set it up. I'm not sure if he did it. I'm not sure if it worked. Dang it. Well, we're going to try it anyways. Do an of King of Average. I want to see if we can tag King to get him annoyed so that he comes over and plays a game with me of Townsfolk Tussle. So let's go ahead and comment that at the bottom, somewhere in the comment section. You can say whatever you want, but just make sure you do an if you want us to play a game. So that way, every time someone comments that, he's getting an annoying ping on his phone, and so he comes over here and plays that game with me. And if we can get that done, there's not an amount. I'm going to try to get, I'm literally messaging him on Discord to get that done. So let's get his butt over here and play a game with me. Other than that, let's talk about my final opinions for Townsfolk Tussle. Overall, I think Townsfolk Tussle is a pretty safe back, and one that I'd recommend if you're looking for a game that's got a really unique style that hasn't been emulated very well in the board gaming space, and also has a very good gameplay history with it. Now, a lot of people complained that Townsfolk Tussle sometimes overstayed its welcome because of the 4 scenario combat thing that you had to do, where you had to go to 4 different people. They have now added a new change to the rule book to allow for 3, which makes the game a little bit more approachable and easier to get to the table. I think that's a big bonus to me, because that was one of the main reasons I didn't back it. I was like, man, do I really want to spend 2.5, 3 hours playing this game? I kind of want to just play a fight, maybe 2 fights, and if I'm really having a good night, a 3rd fight, and then I'm probably going to pile it up and be done for a while. So I'm glad that they're making that change. I think it's really, really cool. But overall, history tells us that Townsfolk Tussle on the secondary market was very expensive. This is a great time to get in while the price is cheap. So I'd recommend it. Now, the one thing I want to take a look at, I didn't talk about this in the video, but I think it's important to mention, is that the shipping cost is relatively high. Let me pull it back up again here. Let's come on down. I forgot to mention this. I need to make sure I put this down on my little sheet here for you guys. The shipping cost is fairly high. So if you are getting the peddler's basket, which is kind of like the all-in, like is what I would probably do myself, $41. That's pretty expensive. You know, you're coming up to almost half of the price of the game here. It's pretty big. So if you have a retailer that's backing this game locally, I try to see if they're doing a backer option, or if you can do a pre-order through them so you can save that shipping cost. Highly recommended, because that is going to be the only way you can find this in retail, by the way. I went through the FAQ to see if they're doing any type of retail distribution or anything. They're not going to be doing anything unless they specifically back through the retailer pledge, which is right here. You can see that retailer pledge. That's the only way. And there's currently, I don't know if you can see that, 28 backers doing retailers. So it's not a lot of retailers back in this game. So if you're going to want this, either find a retailer and ask them, hey, are you backing this, or back it here, because I do think it's a very, very good value. Personally, to me, I hate chasing FOMO. I resisted the FOMO the first time. But I do think in terms of my curated collection, Townsfolk Tussle does make a really good sense to me, finding a place for it. I do like the boss battler system. I think it's really cool, but it's also kind of a more palatable way, easier to approach game that I can even introduce to people who are newer to the board gaming space and be like, hey, do you want to try what my favorite mechanic is, which is boss battler? It's not really my favorite. It's deck building is one of my favorite, probably my favorite. But boss battler is like maybe right below. Those are two of my favorite mechanics. But if you want to back to my scenario, if you want to play one of my favorite mechanics, I've got one that's easy to learn, and I think you're going to love the charm of it. And that's what Townsfolk Tussle is for me. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Thank you for that. Go ahead and leave that comment again, bugging King of Average. If it doesn't work, whatever, we had fun trying anyways. And I'll make sure to figure out a way to get his butt over here and play with me before this campaign ends. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.